Hello there. Today is 22 August, the year 2010. I'm Dr. Dave Thompson, a volunteer at the Palm Springs Air Museum in Palm Springs, California. As part of the Veterans History Project of the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., we conduct interviews of veterans and civilians who participated in those conflicts. And today I am here in beautiful Newport Beach, California, along with special guest Nancy Lewis. And today we have the honor and the privilege of hearing the story of First Lieutenant Bill Blurock. Lieutenant Blurock was a P-38 pilot in the Mediterranean during World War II with one confirmed victory. So we're going to talk to him about that and a lot of other things. Bill, so nice for you to have us here to your beautiful home.
Thank you.
Okay. Bill, first of all, let me get you relined up here. There we go. Can you spell and pronounce your full name for us?
William E. Blurock, B-L-U-R-O-C-K.
And when and where were you born?
I was born in Los Angeles,
And what was your birth date?
April 27th, 1922.
Making you how many years young?
88.
88. Well, you look great for 88. And Nancy said that they have to ask you where things are and stuff, that your memory is much better than theirs. So you're doing great. And your father, what was his name?
Edward William Blurock.
And what did he do?
He was a dentist in Los Angeles.
Dentist in Los Angeles. And I think you said he went to SC Dental School.
I went to school.
He went to SC Dental School.
Yeah,
And do you know what year he graduated?
1918.
1918. Oh my gosh, yeah.
He was the first graduating class at USC
Really? That's amazing. And where was his practice?
in Los Angeles.
Do you remember the street it was on?
48th in Vermont.
Oh, okay. And how did your dad end up in California? Where did his ancestors all come from?
And originally in the 1870s, no, 1700s, the Repression, and migrated to Pittsburgh. And in 1846, the whole group of them moved overland to Vancouver, Washington, where they lived until the time he went to college. And Uncle convinced him to go to dental school at USC, and that's how they landed in Los Angeles.
Oh, good art. And your mother, what was her name and her maiden name?
Florence Melissa Dunaway. She was from Little Rock, Arkansas, and came out to Los Angeles when she was 2 years old.
And the Dunaways, did they come from Ireland or somewhere? In the ancestors that you know of?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And so how did she and your dad meet?
And at a function at school, my mother was going to UCLA, which was up at Fort Moore at that time, and she was a physical therapist.
Yeah. And did you have any brothers and sisters?
And I had two sisters,
And what?
one older and one younger.
And what's their names?
Florence Blurock is my older sister. She's 90 years old. And my younger sister is deceased, Marilyn.
And your older sister, or where does she live?
She lives in Laguna Hills, World, and enjoys life.
Yeah, that's great. Blurock, I think you're the first Blurock that I've met.
Well,
Are there many around?
I don't know if he was in captivity.
Now your dad, when they
it's a German
came,
derivative.
I was thinking they came from Prussia, so maybe.
Blurock, which is blue rock, blue coat,
Oh.
which is army
Ah.
related.
Uh-huh.
And that's why they left the old country and came to
Did he come through Ellis Island?
Yeah.
And maybe they got changed there, perhaps, when they came through. Do you know?
Oh, it probably made it simpler to do it this way.
Right. Do you remember how it was originally spelled?
Blurock, Blurock, R-O-C. It would be B-L-A-U.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So growing up in Southern California, well, tell me what you did for fun, you kids, when you were growing up.
Oh, I went to school in Los Angeles, Minority High School.
Yeah.
And
Well, okay. Well, let's back up just a little bit. First of all, what street did you live on?
1344 West 52nd.
West what?
52nd Street.
Oh, okay. And how far was that from your dad's dental practice?
Within walking distance.
In what?
Within walking distance.
Okay, it's pretty close by then. Yeah.
He walked part of the time to work. Part of the time we'd run out and meet him coming from work.
Now, was your family very religious? Did you go to church a lot and stuff when you were a kid?
From time to time. And my mother, one of my aunts came and lived with us for a couple of years. She got my mother interested in Christian Science. But we were basically Presbyterian.
Okay. And now you grew up probably during the Depression. What was that like for you and your family?
What's interesting, you should ask that. My father, as a dentist, had a good practice, and he didn't always get paid. A lot of times he get paid in product. I remember one time a gallon can of oysters. A fellow that worked came from New Orleans, and but we were frugal, but he always put his work in. So we had a good life.
Yeah. And what grammar school did you go to?
51st Street
Okay.
Elementary School.
Did you like sports when you were a kid?
Yeah.
What did you kids play?
In high school, I went out for track and ran long distance races.
How far from the beach did you live? And which was the closest beach that you usually went to?
We used to go down to Hermosa Beach and 22nd Street, which is a good surfing place. I started surfing there, and when we moved to Lamert Park, I used to go out to Long Beach to Cherry Avenue and ride and surf there.
Body surfing or?
Mostly body.
Body surfing, yeah.
I had a surfboard, but it dropped on my foot one day, and I was into that.
Yeah. Did you have any odd jobs growing up?
Well, everybody had an odd job. I sold magazines, cut lawns, did cleanup work, worked with my dad a little bit, and nothing sensational.
Were you interested in aviation when you were a kid?
Well, where we lived, after we moved from 51st Street, we moved to Lamert Park. And that was fairly close to the mine field.
That was the LAX.
That's where.
No.
And the 82nd Fighter Group started at Mine Field. But I was in the Air Corps because it wasn't in the Army, it was in the Air.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to your high school. Did you have any favorite teachers or favorite classes that you took in high school?
I was an average student. I was boys' judge, graduated.
Did you have any special girlfriends in high school?
Well, you know,
And so what year did you graduate from high school?
1939.
And what did you do after graduation?
I went 6 months to a ranch in Nevada with my aunt owned, and then started school in September 1940
Yeah, and where did you start school?
at USC.
At USC. And did you have a major?
Architecture.
What?
I always wanted to be an architect.
Architect?
I didn't have any trouble knowing what I wanted to be. I just wanted to be an architect.
Yeah.
I did fit in with being a fighter pilot, but it kept me in a clean bed.
Now, do you remember what you were doing December 7th, 1941?
I was doing my homework at home and came on the radio.
And did you have any idea that something like that was going to be happening, that we were going to be getting into a war or anything?
I don't remember too much what happened other than we were all trying to find out what was happening.
But I mean, were you up on current events that we may, you know, because they were fighting over in Europe and stuff, that we may get into something maybe happening?
I was more in school than I was in the war.
And tell me what Los Angeles was like within the next few days after the attack.
I remember you couldn't turn the car lights on at night. You tried to get everybody working blackout. And somebody said that they landed, shelled Santa Barbara. And whether it was true or not, I don't think anybody ever know.
Actually, a submarine did. I think a few rounds came in. I've been up there. This shows where they came. It didn't hurt anything, though, as I recall. Yeah. I think they were going after the refineries up there. Something's where they're aiming at, but I don't think they hit anything. So, how soon did you go into the service then?
I went into service in July of '42. I was inducted, but then I was sent back to school, and I went in November of '42.
Into the Army or to the Army Air Corps?
Army Air Corps. I was a cadet.
Okay, yeah. And you had to have a certain amount of college to get into that?
At that time, it was not required, but it was supposed to have 2 years. I can remember getting on a train in Los Angeles in the wintertime, and we were first sent to Lincoln, Nebraska, AM school. And I got off the plane, off the train in Salt Lake City, and looked around, and it was a third day like this, and it was 10 above zero. I never got warm for the next one.
Yeah. And that was that your basic training that you went to?
No,
what was that?
they pushed us around quite a few places different.
Yeah.
Went from there, we took 3 months to go to Iowa Western College for pre-cadet training.
Right.
And we were sent back to Santa Ana for indoctrination and take all the tests, whether you're going to be a bombardier or a pilot. And I made the pilot.
And then did they decide if you're going to go to bombers or fighters, or how did that come about?
Well, I don't know whether I had a choice or not, but I chose to be a fighter pilot and was sent to Tulare, California to primary training, flight training. And that was a wonderful experience because the head of the school was Tex Rankin, who was an old barnstormer. And he did all kinds of things with the steerman that nobody else can do. And it got us all excited about flying. Went from there to Marana, Arizona for basic training. And we entered an advanced program of, we didn't go into basic training, but we went into advanced training. I had more time on an AT-6 than my instructor did. I went from there to Williamsfield where I graduated and got the 44th day.
And Williamsfield, was that in Texas?
Arizona.
Arizona. And did you fly the P-38 there?
Yeah.
What other fighters did you fly, or did you have time in besides the P-38?
Well, I'll continue on. We had training planes, but the first fighter was P-38. We showed you a movie, we gave you a pamphlet, he gave me a key. He said, there's the plane, start it up, take off when you feel like you can fly it.
Let's saw a picture of a P-38 around. Is there one on that cover there? Yeah. Let me put this in here. So. Yeah, we got a picture of a P-38 here. Because it's got the twin booms and twin engines. So tell me a little bit about the characteristics of the P-38.
Yeah, P-38 was a wonderful aircraft. I couldn't have asked for anything better. It saved my life several times having two engines. And it was underrated as far as some of the publicity that was put out on it. It would turn inside of anything because it had kind of rotating props. You can pull it right on around, where it would turn inside of any single engine, which would spin out.
Yeah. So there was no torque basically to
That's
affect
right.
you. Yeah. Interesting. I was playing golf yesterday, and the guy was in front of us, and they let us play through, and he said he was 88, and I said, well, were you in the service? He said, yeah. He said he was a P-38 pilot. I said, well, what's your name? And he told me, and then I remember he had moved away from the desert. I had interviewed him a few years ago. Now he's back, and he's a volunteer at the Air Museum. And he flew in North Africa and Italy. I think he shot down 13, got credit for 13, so he saw a lot of action. Really a nice guy. Franklin Pearl is his name. Yeah, so the fact that you could turn inside of a German plane or an opponent was very helpful for you, right?
Got me out of trouble a lot of times.
So when did you go overseas?
And when I left Williamsfield, I went up to Defeated Washington, and we flew P-39 for 30 days, which was a terrible airplane. No wonder the Russians dislike it.
It was basically for strafing, I think. It wasn't really for dogfighting kind of a.
And it was snap rolling at any speed. We turned it too tight. And we were used to P-38 turning it so every once in a while somebody would go through the squadron upside down.
Did flying come easy to you?
You know, I enjoyed it, and I had this dexterity to cope with it.
What did you solo in?
Well, steerman.
Steerman is,
A biwing.
yeah, right. And I mean, it's very maneuverable. Everybody seems to love it.
They still use them for crop dusting.
Yeah. So you went up to, for a month you did the P-39s, then what?
And we came back to Van Nuys. Tony LeVere checked us all out in a P-38.
Tony LeVere did? Really?
And we left and I went overseas. I went from there to Newport News, Virginia. We were shipped out of there for Africa. We didn't fly. We had a transport plane, transport ship.
Troop ship, yeah. Was it a convoy or was it going by itself?
We were part of a convoy. It was a terrible experience. Nobody should ever have 5 bunks high. And we got in a storm at one time, and I can still remember it. Up she goes, down she goes.
Did you get seasick?
No. I've been on a boat all my life.
Oh. Yeah, okay, well, let me back up just a little bit then. Did you do a lot of boating when you were a kid or before you went into...
When I got in college, my roommate lived here in Newport. And so I went home with him several times and we raced in starboats.
And what kind?
Starboat.
Is that a sailboat or?
It's class.
Okay. How big, what size is that?
It's 20 foot.
What was his name, your friend?
Ken Ross.
Is he still alive?
Yes, and he lives here, and he was in the Air Force also.
He was.
He survived. He was May 17.
We should get him interviewed one of these days. Okay, so now you're on the transport. Where did you land when you got overseas?
And first Iran, and then transferred from there to Naples. And somewhere around the middle of August, 1944.
And had they put your group, your squadron together here in the States, or were you replacements when you got over, or how did that work?
Somebody, when we were being put together, we were alphabetically by height. I had the pleasure of being with 8 fellows who were all the same height, same build, same weight. It was Barr, Bernier, Blurock, Blankenship, Bowers, and Barr. And all the Ram was showing they ran out of beans. And we stuck together, and all 8 of us went through the war together.
And all of you survived?
Yeah.
And so you're in Naples, and then did they send you down to Foggia, or?
Yeah, over to Foggia.
And do you remember your first mission?
I'll step back a second. We were introduced we went by truck over to Foggia, and we were introduced to squadron. And they had sent out 60 airplanes that day and got 5 of them back. And they eventually got them all but 1 back. But they had fields all over the place. But they were pretty worried about them.
Now,
and that was my introduction.
The planes that went, were those, you're talking about fighters or bombers?
P-38.
Oh, the P-38s? Oh.
The 95th.
Yeah, okay. Because I know they had B-17s on that base also, because I interviewed some guys that were at Foggia also, or at least around different areas.
Runway.
Right.
And it dropped 80 feet and 2,500 feet. So it always took off downhill and landed uphill. The dirt runway. My first mission was an experience with a dive bombing mission. And it was dive bombing some barges in the Danube River and outside of Vienna. And I was following Lieutenant Hildebrand. I was behind his wing, and he tried to tell me what to do, and of course we were indoctrinated before, but I wasn't sure what everybody was talking about. We were down and he said, well, we're going to roll over, so we rolled over and started straight down. And you could see the barges on the river. And he got closer and closer and closer and closer. And pretty soon there's white spots going around. And my God, there's a flag. That must be flag. Pretty soon they got black, then they got red. And when they got red, I just had to get out of there. So I dropped my bomb, and some of us did it. I don't know what I was the one that did it or not.
And what were they 100-pounders that you were carrying, or
500.
500?
We carried. It's an unusual thing. I'll step back a minute. We had ordinarily went out with 4 200, 500-pound bombs, two in a belly tank. One mission we had 6 500-pound bombs. That's the same load as a B-17. I got a picture of it.
How did the plane perform with all that weight on
A little mushy.
Yes. How many sorties did you, I guess they call it sorties or missions, did you fly altogether?
62.
62. Sometimes more than once a day?
No,
Oh,
about 2 a week.
uh-huh.
And as an architectural student, I had my history of architecture book. We were right in the middle of the Appian Way. We're going to the road from Foggia to Rome. And so I spent a lot of time, any free time I got, looking for aqueducts and old buildings.
Tell me about the time you got credit for shooting down that
I've got a whole bunch of papers here. There's a Freedom of Information Act released, and evidently what happened was we were given false information by the Russians on where they were. They didn't keep up to date, and we were strafing what we thought was a retreating German column, and it was an advancing Russian column. And I had full flaps, I had 30% flap stop, and was strafing, and all of a sudden they called they were shooting at us. So it pulled up, and with the Yak 9 that I tangled with, and I turned inside of it. And there's a picture in one of these magazines here.
And so you got some hits on him?
Oh yeah, he crash landed.
But, okay, so that was a Russian plane who they were our allies at that time, or?
Yeah.
But he was shooting at you, so you.
But we were shooting at them, so
So they were shooting back at you.
we lost 3 P-38s and they lost 5 Yaks.
Really? Did they not recognize you guys as being Americans, or did you not? And you not recognize?
Well, you know what I mean? A couple of passes, and everybody realized we were shooting at the wrong people.
Oh, so that broke off.
It all happened in probably 30, half a minute.
Yeah. Did you escort the bombers at all in any of your missions?
Obviously, my missions were divided up between bombing, dive bombing, strafing, and we tried to skip bombing in some submarine pitch, and Wwii.
Did your plane get shot up any on any of your missions?
Yeah, I got shot down once.
You what?
I got shot.
You were shot down once?
Oh, sort of. Everything takes an explanation. Basically, we were dive bombing a bridge in northern Italy, and in the process, there was more area.
Anti-aircraft?
Anti-aircraft. And I had an engine shut out. And my bombs didn't really. So I stumbled back all across the American line, and there was a B-51 base that I tried to come in at. And red line with one engine with 3 bombs underneath the wrong side, and trying to keep the plane flying. And they directed me into, and it came across, it was on the waterfront on the Adriatic, and the short runway. And so I probably landed at about 200 miles an hour. Trying to, the ailerons were caught right over the crosshair, and trying to roll them back. And I was lucky to get through it. And then I landed and found out that the bombs were still armed. And that was on the 22nd of December of 1944. I got shot up a few other times, but nothing as serious as that. I was just barely made it.
Yes. Any other memorable missions that you can think of that you?
Yeah, we dive bombed Vicenza, Italy. We left at midnight and got there in the early morning and surprised everybody. Most bombing missions were, everything was at noon. And this was, we didn't get any opposition whatsoever. And one of the really scary things, but it's over with. Towards the end of the war, they had the 262s.
Yeah. Jets.
They were scary because they went right through you, and then they had the rockets. Because it scared you.
Did your squadron lose any? Did you lose any guys or lose any planes while you were over there?
Oh yeah, we lost about 30% of our class. I had one plane on one of the missions had put a thermite bomb in the wheel well. Somebody some Italian who worked for the opposition. And John Stockborough, it exploded at 17,000 feet, and his plane's on fire. And he landed, he lives over here in Riverside now. And no, he lives in a hill. And he crash landed right in a field hospital. If he hadn't landed in a field hospital, he wouldn't have been alive today. And then there's a famous thing of Wellesley and Captain Wellesley, who landed a P-38, who got shot down and landed in Yugoslavia. And this wingman went down and picked him up out of a plowed field. And they tried to figure out how he got in the airplane after that. They couldn't figure out, they could do up good to get in and out of it. They threw all their gear away. They made it back.
So, how long were you over there altogether?
From July to August of this year, August 45.
August 45.
The war was over in Europe in March, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And I got a chance to go to school, and I went to school over there. Architectural school.
Architects?
One of the things that happened to me in my lifetime was we went to school in Florence. And we went to the University of Florence. And that's where David is. That's where David is.
Yes.
And we
were there
hadn't created David.
a couple months ago, yeah.
We hadn't created David. And I remember taking a sandbag off his foot. It was about this high, looking at all the hair follicles and everything. It was just a wonderful experience. And not very many people did it. I was a pilot for our squadron supply plane. It was beat up B-25. They were cleaned out and had a couple of seats in it. We used to go, in the book Catch-22, Major went out and got eggs and scotch and that sort of thing. Well, that's what we did. And I had to fly that quite a bit. And so I take guys to on R&R to Rome and to Capri. Capri was one of my experiences. And something else I was going to say. One trip was to Cairo.
Oh. I wanted to ask you, at Foggia, did your base ever get bombed or strafed by the opposition?
Every once in a while at night, a night fighter would come through, but not in the daytime. When they were pushed by the casino, and most of the missions were in that direction. Most of our was. I was interesting in escort. We all loved the B-17 and hated the B-24 because B-24 went at 24,000 feet and the B-17 went at 30,000. We were above them and above the flight line. And you're flying along, you hear this rrrr, and it means they just shot at you. But the question is where and how. And you knew that they always had the altitude. They had marvelous equipment. But they didn't, because of the wind drift, it was never on target. So you look at the wing and you see the puffs of smoke, and it turns some other way. But if you're going the same direction when they say about it, they've got you.
Did you ever see any planes get hit with flag?
Oh, sure. Both P-38s and P-17 and both in B-24. It's been terrible. They had to go on the bottom for 30 seconds without moving, and they were sitting ducks. And 24,000 feet they were reaching.
Did they go to Ploesti on some of those raids?
Well, I mentioned, the first mention we went in a 760 airplane. It was in Ploesti. And after the war, I went to Romania and wanted to see what Ploesti looked like from the ground. Anything I expected. It was ice cream, rolling hills, and just farmland.
So you came back to the States in August of '45 then?
Yeah, I got right back in September by that time.
Had you thought about staying in the service?
No. Definitely no. I wanted to go back to school and be an art there.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. I stayed in the Army. I was in the Army Reserve, Air Force Reserve. And so I didn't get directed. I did my flying time on Saturday and Sunday. It was worth $110 a month. That was a big salary at that time. So,
when you were over there, did you have a special girlfriend or fiance or anybody here at home?
when I left home, I was with one girl, and corresponded with her for 3.5 years. My family all had go nuts with them, and I was married 30 days after I got home.
You married her?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Helen.
And what was her maiden name, her last name?
Helen. Helen Helen.
And where did you meet her?
At USC.
At USC. And what did her father do?
He had a couple different businesses. He had.
Several businesses?
Yeah. I got divorced in 1966 and married a lady that came up in there. And she died in 1998.
And what was her name?
And Blurock.
What was her last name, her maiden name?
Smells.
What?
Smells. S-M-A-L-E-S.
And was she from California? Was she a California girl?
Yeah. She had 3 children. I had 3 children. She had 6 children.
And your children, what were their names?
Linda, Bud, and Carol.
Those are Edmund's children. Yeah, your children.
I know. Thomas Blurock, Ned Blurock, and Donna Blurock.
Do they all live around here in California?
Yes and no. We have one that just left. Tom Blurock just moved to Los Angeles. He's an artist. Donna is a sculptor and a filmmaker in Laguna Beach. And Ned teaches organic chemistry in Stockholm, Sweden. Linda's a housewife in Arrowhead. Bud lives over here on the Canal, and Charles deceased.
And how many grandchildren between you?
About 6.
So you got married, you went back to SC, so did you finish up at SC?
Yeah, I went in 3 years.
And then did you get your own firm or
I moved to Newport Beach. I established an office in September of 1947. I'm now in the corner of Coast Highway and MacArthur.
Oh.
And it was 60-some-odd years ago.
And did you do mainly business buildings or homes or what in your architecture?
Mostly public work. We did, first we did a lot of only work out there was residential work. And we didn't like residential work, so we got into some school work. We got a reputation for doing it at school. And we finished out the rest of my career in education.
By teaching, you mean, or
Being an architect for a building.
okay, building school buildings, or architecture for the
We
building.
built 22 junior colleges in California.
The what?
I was responsible for 22 junior colleges in
Oh,
California.
really? What were some of them?
Orange Coast, Saddleback, Cypress, Golden West, two graduates of Orange Coast,
So, and you,
I was architect right
yeah. Did you have some sailboats or a sailbote, or did you do a lot of sailing?
Always had sailboat.
Tell me some of the ones you had, some of your favorites.
Well, first one was International 14, which was a dinghy. We raced for almost 20 years. And Gal 25, and a Gal 30, and a O'Day 37, and a boat that I just sold 2 weeks ago,
Oh, really?
a 50-foot sailboat.
Wow.
We kept it up in Washington, in Bellingham, Washington. And,
Where did you keep your boats?
well, the last one was down in Bellingham, all the rest of them are right here.
Yeah, but I mean, which, did you have one, what slip or where did, right by here on Lido Island or where?
Well, I lived on the waterfront most of the time, and I've always, since 1966, I've had a waterfront home.
And when you did your races, what were some of the races that you would be in?
Well, whatever races were available, Thursday, and Wednesday.
Any long distance races?
Yeah, in 1959 or 57, I went to Polo on a Thursday. And we almost won the race.
Did you ever have any mishaps? Ever turn a boat over or anything?
Oh, sure. I was in a match once in a while. That's part of the fun of it.
Did you have when you raced, did you always race with a certain crew or have a same guys?
One fellow and I raced most of the time together, Terry Wells. He lived over there.
Did the kids like to sail too? Your children?
Yes and no. My daughter didn't like learn at all. I took her out yesterday, and she renewed her I think she felt like she enjoyed it.
Finally.
But then just bought a boat to Sweden. We tried to get my boat transferred over there, but it was too complicated. You know, so we bought a boat over there and we sold this one. We still have a boat. And he takes it out.
Tell me about your little dog that went on your boat with you, your Yorkshire Terrier.
Bo was a boat dog. He loved the boat. He had his own area in the cockpit. And he'd look on the side door. And he'd reach way out and get his nose out in the wind. But one time he fell down and fell onto the deck and scrambled back and around, looking around and seeing someone saw him falling in. But he was, wonderful thing about him is he was a paper trade. We didn't have to take him ashore. In a little box in the corner on the deck. And been for 15 years.
15 years. Nancy, would you move your chair over next to him? I want to get both of you in here, and yeah, just get as close to him as you can. Yeah, that's good. You're good. Okay. Now, tell me what you know about this guy.
What shall I really reveal? No. The reason I'm here is his stepdaughter is one of my dearest friends. Bill designed and built the Wwii Lee.
Oh.
I worked at the Wwii Lee for several years, and I met Linda, his stepdaughter. So that's the connection there. So when I sold my business, I asked my dear friend Linda, who I've known for 45 years, if she knew, I'm a caregiver, if she knew of anyone I can have anyone that need to be taken care of. She goes, actually, my step-parents think they don't need any help, but they do. So that was on a Friday night, and Bill called me the next morning at about 9 o'clock. He goes, I understand. You know my daughter. Come on over. So we talked, and the rest was history. So that's, and I've known him through the years, through Linda, through my friend. So that's how I met. That's how I met Bill.
Yeah. So does she give you a bad time, Bill?
My warden.
Yes. I do.
Your friends, everything, and gives me credit. Doctor appointment. When you retire, you go to the doctor instead of client.
Yeah. When did you retire from architecture?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
He's not really retired.
It still does. Still
He's
does.
still, he's still interested in everything.
I sold my business 10 years ago. I moved here. Moved my house here. Just to consulting work.
Other than boating and architecture, do you have any other special interests or hobbies? You told me you're a collector.
Well, I like art.
The entire house.
And everybody in the audience always had a book. Something to remind us of it.
Done a lot of traveling?
Maybe you should take a picture of my board there.
Look around that corner there, just walk around the corner, look at the map,
Nice.
see
Oh.
all those dots.
Ah, okay. Yeah, we'll get a picture of it.
Where, in other words, where hasn't he been? Is more like it.
I've tried my best to put everybody in the world where I haven't quite made it yet.
Pretty much covered most of it.
Did you do mostly cruises or other trips or what?
My reputation is money for education. I've traveled with the American School in Hong Kong, American School down around in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Samoa, Honolulu, Rio de Janeiro, and those are gun projects. And they're all different, all special. And that was a challenge of being an architect, to do something different, not be just kooky about it. I like good architecture, I still do. And help whenever I can.
Now, were you at the Air Museum? How did you find out about our program of interviews?
What did I do?
You guys were there. Was that the first time you'd been to the museum?
No, some years ago, but I don't remember it being that large.
Yeah, well, it's grown, I think, in the last few years. Yeah.
Tell him of your 28 years on the Blue Rocket. We had 3 sailboats. The Blue Rocket 4 was the last one.
We wanted one of a P-38,
That was the Blue Rocket, that was the
Oh, okay,
P-38.
and we wanted 2 with a sailboat, 30-foot sailboat, and 3 with a 37-foot sailboat, and 4 with a 50-foot sailboat. And we traveled for 28 years up to the North West. Never got tired of it.
Yeah.
The Georgia Strait in Canada. 28 years, every summer for 3
Wow.
months they would go.
I've just got about a minute or so left, Bill. Actually, I think what I'll do, I think I've got another tape. Let me.
I'd like to step back a minute and bring up to date on some of my third client. My editor died in 1988. And too, I married a very good friend of mine. A friend of hers, and her 3 boys used to sail with me. And she lost her husband. So we got together and we spent 10 years on the Blurock 4.
Oh, really? So that was kind of your home on the sailboat, you mean?
We lived on it.
Oh, be there. Oh.
We lived on it in the summertime.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It would go anywhere. We didn't want to be on it or not, it'd be something else, but it would go anywhere.
What's the furthest that you took it?
Well, we were in Alaska twice,
Uh-huh.
and Queen Charlotte Island, on British Columbia, and was in Canada, and down here. First trip was on to Oregon. But it was good times together. And her 3 boys had always sailed with me. They lived next door. So for about 10 years, I didn't. I married her. She just recently died last year. That's about it.
I usually, we have a lot of young people going into harm's way these days, and if you had any advice that you may give them, since you were in harm's way some 60-odd years ago, what might it be?
Because yesterday I was at a funeral of a friend of mine, and then a couple of my ex-employees, and they asked me the same thing. I said, hire somebody that's better than you are, and work with them, and you'll do fine. Yes, sir.
Bill, thank you for your service to our country. Thanks for having me here. Nancy, thanks for having us here too and helping out. Okay, thank you so much.
We're going to have lunch.
Yes, would you join us? We plan on having lunch. Bring you lunch.
Well,
How about bring your wife, tell her to come over, and we'll sit here and we'll have
Are you
lunch.
sure?
Absolutely.
okay, I'll give.
Absolutely.